I don't know if anybody can tell that my skin has gotten smoother using this stuff here, as well as this. I got an ultrasonic brush. So I come across a post. This guy was talking about black people who live in the country, and how he sees that black people that live in the country are more dependable. I'm not quite putting it the right way, but let's do it. I moved up here in 2020, October. The end of the pandemic was still in full effect. And for me, I saw it as a job opportunity. I didn't think about, now my rent would have gone up by hundreds of dollars. And there's more crime. And there's a lot more violence and wrecks. I didn't think about that then. I thought about the money. And I thought about having a future. House prices in Charlotte are prohibitive. Even money I make now, that would have been probably impossible to live in the city, to live close to anything. I think that ultimately we move to these areas because we want a future. And so the people who move out in these areas are a little different. I'm not a hustler. My grandfather moved to North Carolina from Springfield, Massachusetts back in the 40s, maybe the early 50s. He had the first black tax company in Springfield, Massachusetts. And he done that for a future. That's what we do. My uncle, he moved somewhere. I know a guy, when I was with my dad, that moved to Dallas from Miami for a job. That's what it's like. Black people don't own nothing. We don't own shit. We don't have no power. And what that means is you have to always be ready to move as a black man. Now, if you got money, then whatever. But if you're just a young black person and you just, if something pops up, you need to go for it. And so if that makes me, my grandfather, that makes us more resourceful. I guess we are. I just, and people congratulate me. People are like, oh man, that's cool. I just saw it as an opportunity. We had the pandemic. Things had slowed down. I was doing flatbed. And the original plan was to get a job with a postal contractor, Pat Salmon. And the pandemic hit and messed everything up. I didn't know what was going to come next. I knew there'd be more trouble. I didn't feel we'd have more waves. I didn't know what was coming. And, that's what it was for me. It was a job opportunity. I think that people like me, a little more focused, because we have to be. I think that we know that, it's something I never thought about years ago, but you have some black people who just don't want to leave their areas, period. I'm not the first person to get an opportunity like this, but they just want to stay in these areas. And the problem is we're being pushed out. I knew that then. We're being priced out of these areas. These areas are going to become, that's the thing about it. White folks talk about violence in cities like Charlotte and Atlanta. Don't you know this stuff has to happen? Don't you get it? The trash is getting pushed out of the city. I'm getting pushed out of the city. Everybody is. So the criminals, they're living with their families, but that's what, another 10, 20 years? You're going to have people that their parents leave them homes, but for the most part, it will become too expensive to live in these areas. So you're watching a certain kind of a removal. You are. You're watching people come in that have no jobs, and that's something else. But you don't realize, look at Harlem, look at parts of New York City today, and look at the 80s, look at the 70s with all the fires. White folks don't get it. This stuff takes time, But that's my response to that. It's just that I guess I am disciplined. I guess I am focused. I guess I'm a little different because I was looking for something and I found it. And now I'm in a position, 100,000 a year, where I can get a house, make a house payment. I can pay off my car. I can do more than just stay afloat. You know, um, Tone talks, Antonio Moore. He talks about black people playing house. That black people that have kids and stuff and have no burial insurance. Their families, their parents have no burial insurance. They have no money set aside in case of something happening. And he talks about, like, what if your car breaks down? And in these areas they live in, there's no buses and stuff because they got the buses out, but you don't. And how white people have money that's set aside from their ancestors. They inherit money, and black people don't have any money to inherit. That's what I mean. These areas, black people are gonna get pushed out. It's already happening. I saw it. So I just, like I said, if it means we're different, we're different. But for me, it was always about the big payday. It was always about opportunity. As I said, black people don't have any money. That's the biggest mistake you make, is that black folks don't have anything. We don't have anything.